It's the first day of July, and I meant to do this sooner, but I didn't get to it, so we're going to take the 1st of July as our TBR day, where I show off what I want to read for this month. I'm kind of doing a few different things this month, just because that's where I'm at in my life, and kind of looking at what has been going on with previous TBRs and all of that. And so we're experimenting a little bit with this one, but not in quite the same way as I've done with some other ones. This is actually going to be, for starters, a fairly short TBR, because I keep building these big, massive ones, and then only reading a few things from it. So I figure if the amount of books on my TBR is closer to about the number that I've been pulling from TBRs, maybe it'll actually all get read. Not that it super matters as long as I'm enjoying what I'm reading, but I'm just kind of playing with that and seeing what happens that way. So you've got that as the first thing. There's also a bit of a theme with the titles this month, just for fun, because as I was starting to build it, I noticed a silly little theme, so I'm going to play with that. And yeah, so let's just hop into it, and we'll talk about what's going on with it. First off, I am going to continue reading the spookiest campfire stories. I read a couple of these last month, and I had a lot of fun with them. And similar to my reasoning for having picked this anthology in the first place, spooky campfire stories when people are doing camping and summertime and all that seemed like a fun plan. And since I didn't finish it last month, I figure I may as well use that as my short story anthology for this month as well, and keep working on reading through that. So that's book number 1 that I'm going to be working on for my TBR for the month. Next up, we have Sick, which is one that I mentioned in my second-hand book haul that I did recently. This one is a memoir about someone dealing with the healthcare system and Lyme disease ultimately, and just kind of the crazy experience that is. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll be an adventure of a memoir to read, and I'm very curious to see how it all plays out. And then next up we have Silent Souls Weeping, which is a book about depression and sharing stories, finding hope through like depression and stuff. It's specifically, well, maybe not super specifically, but it is based by an author who is of my same faith, and so I think a lot of the stories feature people who are experiencing faith crises through depression at the same time and stuff too. I've been having some bad mental health recently, so I'm hoping that since these are about hope and depression and stuff, that will kind of help some of that that's been going on with me. And it's also partially, I wanted to read this because it was recommended by a friend as something that may help as sort of some research for a book that I'm trying to write right now too. So kind of multiple facets going on with this one. Next up, we have my next Books with the Same Title challenge that I'm going to be doing. And for the month of July, I'm going to be reading books called Squad. We have these two right here. This first one is a graphic novel, and I believe it features werewolves, as you can kind of see here. So just for that, I'm excited because I love werewolf stories, and I feel like I haven't been reading enough of them recently, and I really enjoy graphic novels recently too. So all those features together, I think, are going to be very fun for that one. And then for this other one, it says, I'm just going to read you some of the description for it because I forgot to read it before I started the video to remind myself of it. But it says, I woke up one morning and forgot how to do everything, and I'm not even sure if I forgot or if the rules just changed on me. The first person I noticed it with was Regine. I'm Jenna Watson and I'm a cheerleader. I know, but it's not some Hollywood crap, okay? We're not every guy's fantasy. We're not the popular girls or the mean girls. We're literally just some human females trying to live our lives and do a perfect toe touch. And the squad is at the top of its game. We're a hive mind and a family. So I think the squad aspects are going to be that it's like a cheerleading squad, and kind of like the blurb itself is referencing, I feel like I've seen a lot of teenager cheerleader stories where the cheerleaders are the villains, but it sounds like in this case maybe they're not. And I'm kind of curious to see if there's like some trope subversion type things going on with that aspect of the story. But yeah, since they were both squad, that's why I picked them up. So be looking forward to another books with the same title video. I personally really love doing those. And I think these will be a particularly interesting one to kind of delve into that way. The final thing that I have on my list that I don't have a physical one because it's going to be the one I try to read on my Kindle for the month is called Such a Beautiful Thing to Behold. It's one that I don't remember how I picked up on my Kindle, but I did partially just pick it because of the theme that I wanted to go for this TBR, which maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't, but all of these books have a title that starts with the letter S, so that was kind of the silly theme that I picked up on and started to go for, and since it was a small TBR that I was going for, because I'll probably read a bunch of other stuff that's not TBR, I was like, let's pick a silly theme for the TBR as well. So they all have S's in the title too. I don't know if anyone else has ever tried a silly thing like that, but I thought it was a fun way to play with it, especially while doing a smaller TBR. So that's what I've got going on here. Let me know what kind of books you're reading on your TBRs, if you think any of mine sound particularly interesting, or if you've read any of them and have thoughts you want to share, feel free to share down below. But I think that's all I've got for now. This is the Umlaut Harper signing out.